Man. I don't even know how to start this off, to be honest with you. Like, I just had to remember, like, how long I've been watching NBA basketball and the NBA Finals for. And I have to say that the Raptors remind me of so many teams that I've seen to make the finals somehow, some way, to make the finals over the past, I want to say, what, 20, 25 plus years. They remind me of so many teams that just don't have enough talent, just don't have enough focus. And I don't want to say that the Raptors are lacking, like, focus. I don't want to say that the Raptors are like, the main things that the Raptors are lacking is one of the reasons why I don't think they're gonna win the series. And the thing is, it's like this Warriors team is still as deadly as any. Like, I read a thumbnail that said that if the Warriors lose, they have legitimate excuses. I'm like, and I probably disagree with that the most, because out of all the teams that weren't 100% that the Warriors beat in the past 5 years, I don't have no sympathy for them if they lose, but it's just not going to happen. The Raptors just don't have enough. They don't hit enough from the outside. They get back on defense, great, but obviously it's going to take more than defense and locking down when you down by 5 and you can't score. I said, what's going to happen to the Raptors when they down 10 points, when they down 10 or 8 points? What's going to happen then? Because they played by percentages on that last possession with Iggy, and they lost. Just like ESPN plays by percentages, and 9 times out of 10 they lose. Just like FS1, they play by percentages. I heard the Skip and Shannon today with LeVar Ball, who I think is a little bit more humble, a little bit more humble, a little bit more modest after of course the first year where he really got on the scene and Lonzo got on the scene, and he really told somewhat of the truth about Lonzo. And one of the things that he said was Lonzo needs to focus on just focus on being the best out on the court. And he basically blurred out a whole bunch of times, Alonzo, when he was growing up. He's like, somebody got to be better than Jordan. Why not you? Which I think is a stretch, very far fetched for somebody like Lonzo Ball. But he going on to say that. I think that's one of the things you should tell your son if he going, for the NBA. I think that's one of the things that you try to tell or motivate your kids or whatever. But it really resonated with me, because one of the things that they had brought up about Lonzo today was about he's shooting 40-something% from the line and 20-something% from the three, and LeVar kind of just shrugged it off and said, he'll make it when he need to make it. He'll make it when he need to make it. Put him in a situation where it need to be made, and it's going to be made. And I think that was more of him confidence talk, the confidence that you need to instill in your son who's a professional athlete. But as far as the Raptors go, the Raptors remind me that the Raptors are part of a long line of teams that I've seen before. The 2001 76ers with Iverson and nobody else who didn't have no talent. The Nets teams with Jason Kidd, who was pretty much running the show. All they had was one way to score, and that was on fast breaks that ran up against the Shaq and the Lakers. And the thing is, the excuse me, I was saying that the Nets teams with Jason Kidd that went to the finals 2 years in a row, only to lose twice to the Lakers and the Spurs was probably the teams of that decade. Lost to Shaq and Kobe, then they lost to Duncan and what would eventually become the Big Three in San Antonio, who still had David Robinson, who was on his last year during that time. The 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers, who was pretty much LeBron and nothing else. Um, let's see. One of the teams I think they really remind me of not in terms of lacking talent necessarily. I obviously think this team was more talented than them. The team that I'm about to name that reminds me a lot of the 2001 War. That a lot reminds me a lot of this Raptors team that's playing right now. Is a team that doesn't really have too much in common with them in terms of playing style, but has a lot in common with them in terms of what the result is going to be at the end of the series, which is a loss. And that team is the 1995 Orlando Magic. You know, they just don't have enough. I don't care how depleted the Golden State Warriors is. A team like the Raptors can never beat them if they're not hitting shots. If they're not hitting their threes, because they're going to be limited to the 3-point line. Everything is one shot because Golden State is a very smart defensive rebounding team, even though they play a zone. What they do is they have people crashing down, and the Raptors send one person in there because they don't want to get destroyed on any fast break. Klay Thompson is not running in there for the defensive rebounds. He's out on the wing. Steph Curry is most likely in there. He's like, if the rebound is a tap out, then he's going to stand still and hold his ground and grab it and then push the tempo. But the Raptors get back on defense. The problem is great defenses have never beaten great offenses. Not in the NBA. It just hasn't worked. It just doesn't work. The reason being is because great offenses can go off at any given time. Great defenses is put in place, and especially in today's game, great defenses is put in place to stay in front of great offenses. And 9 times out of 10, it's always failed. It's always failed. You could go back to any one-hit wonder team. Go back to the Jailblazers team that was making the finals in the early 90s with just Clyde Drexler. Go back to them. Not enough talent. Not enough IQ. Not enough knowledge. Not enough smarts. Just not enough know-how. Not enough of knowing what to do. Not enough offense. Not enough shots being made. Not enough hustle. Not enough talent. It's just not enough. There's something that I tweeted earlier on the page, and one of the things is that the Golden State Warriors, no matter who they come into next season with, is probably going to most likely march back to the finals again. And they're going to do it probably another 2-3 years after that. They probably might make the finals for 8 years straight like LeBron did. And the scariest thing about it is not a damn thing, and it's not a damn soul And it's not a damn thing that nobody can do about it. Nobody. This team does not need Kevin Durant. This team knows what to do. They just know how to win. They know where to be. They know where to be in position for certain situations on defense and certain situations on offense. They know when the defense is going to collapse. They know when to make the right pass. They know when to make the backdoor cuts. They just know. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that the Toronto Raptors can do outside of hitting shots and playing the defense that they've been playing. There's nothing that they could do to win this series. If they do not get hot from the perimeter, they will not win this series. Point blank, case closed. They remind me that, this team reminds me of so many teams that just didn't have enough, that ran up against teams that had too much championship pedigree. They had too much. The teams that I just talked about, the 95 Orlando Magic was going up against the defending champions, Houston Rockets, during that time. They knew how to win. The 2001 76ers was going up against defending champions. They knew how to win. The Nets was going up against the Lakers. It was coming off of 2 in a row. They knew how to win. They went up against them the next year. They went up against the Spurs the very next year, who won in '99. They knew how to win. They had the same cast. 2007, LeBron went up against San Antonio. They were ready to crown him. Nobody around him knew how to win. He didn't know how to win. The team that he played did. This is a perfect example. And I'm gonna make another video later explaining how the Eastern Conference is gonna change after the season, because a lot of people they believe that Milwaukee is up next, and I'm here to tell you that might not be the case. Toronto Raptors don't know how to defeat consistently. They don't know how to beat the Golden State Warriors in 4 games in 2 weeks. They just don't. This is the best game plan that a team has come up with, and it's still not as effective. It's still not a clear cut. Now we get to see what happens in Game 3 when hopefully Clay is out, hopefully Looney is out, and Boogie and Iggy and Draymond are still playing. And Curry is still out there, still holding your perimeter defense hostage. What can you do?